Hi, we hope you enjoy our relationship marketing vlog based on personal selling. This vlog will be presented by myself, Marnie, as well as
Emily, Amber, Caitlin, and Madeline.
Relationship marketing has been defined a process, while others consider it a strategic organization, an organizational value, or a philosophy. With some definitions stating that relationship marketing is a set of interactions and networks. Trust and commitment would appear to be some of the most important factors in the concept of relationship marketing. According to Kotler, personal selling is a broader concept and involves oral presentation in a conversation with one or more prospective purchasers for the purpose of making sales, while Stanton describes personal selling as consisting of individual personal communication in contrast to the mass impersonal communication of advertising, sales promotion, and other promotional tools. Personal selling is vital in business-to-consumer interactions, as it helps to build long-term relationships. The role of salespeople as the primary link between consumer and seller increases their influence on the buyer's perceptions of the reliability and value of the seller's services, which in turn impacts the customer's interest in continuing the relationship. The fact that these interactions take place in a virtuous cycle where successive positive interactions lead to a relationship facilitates further satisfactory economic exchanges. People are known to transact with those they are familiar with in order to avoid risk and ensure fairness. This lower perceived risk serves to improve the supplier's credibility and helps both parties gain knowledge about the market. These long-term relationships create value for sellers and buyers, as duly social and economic exchange between people embedded in such relationships prompts various social benefits, including increased respect, trust, cooperation, recognition, social satisfaction, and loyalty. However, these relationships only go so far to protect the loyalty of the consumer. Price and product comparison can still affect the buyer's likeliness to return. The most committed of relationships still only serve as buffers, though Wilson and Mama Leneni state that stronger personal bonds between buyers and sellers lead to greater commitment in maintaining loyal relationships. Customer loyalty can be explained a lot more precisely using the ladder of customer loyalty. The ladder of customer loyalty, as shown by Egan, depicts the ultimate conversion of a customer from one likely to purchase a product in future to one who champions the brand as the loyalty of the consumer to the brand or company increases. While this conversion may pause at any time, the increase in relationship strength between the customer and seller aids loyalty. Along the way to becoming an advocate for the brand, the consumer converts from merely a prospect or prospective customer to an actual first-time customer. Next, they move on to being a client or a repeat purchaser, then to a supporter who tries new products, and finally onto the final position as advocate and champion of the brand. Our negative experience in Costa included these main aspects: ingenuine intentions from the staff, negative and closed body language with a lack of eye contact, rushing and impersonal service through verbal communication when taking the order and when making the coffee itself, lack of knowledge on new promotions they had in store, and also lack of knowledge when it came to the range of alternative products they had for specific dietary requirements.
An important stage in personal selling is customer acquisition. This is vital in retaining a positive relationship with the consumer. This is represented within the ADAS theory of selling. Personal selling implies direct communication with potential buyers. As Manning and Rees suggested, this is the process of developing relationships, detecting needs, and adjusting appropriate products to these particular needs. It's the process of selling the benefits by providing data, reminding and convincing, and in this case, can all be achieved using the ADAS theory of selling. It focuses on 5 main aspects. The first aspect being securing attention, the second gaining interest, thirdly kindling desire, onto inducing action and building satisfaction with individual customers. These communications have greater credibility than conventional marketing activities that are designed and implemented by individual firms. For example, it has been suggested that word-of-mouth communications are more persuasive than conventional advertising. A popular concept used within sales is the marketing mix. This is a set of actions and/or tactics that a company uses to promote its brand or product to a particular market. Its basic elements are broken down into 4: product, price, place, and promotion. And in this case, promotion can be further broken down to help drive sale improvements. Promotion elements have different communication goals, and the ADAS model targets sales improvements by focusing on creating a need with a possible buyer. Breaking down the 5 stages. The first stage is securing attention. This stage is critical in order to put the prospect of selling into a receptive state of mind. The first impressions are always crucial to consumers on determining their purchase decisions. Secondly is gaining their interest. Once you've gained their attention, the next step is to maintain their interest. Representing a professional image, positive persona, and having knowledge of the products being sold will add to their individual experience and in turn make them feel valued and more likely to make a purchase. The third step is kindling desire. In the desire stage, the objective is to prove to the consumer that the product is worth buying. This can be done through offering recommendations, giving feedback on the positives of the product or service, as well as, if relevant, using the before and after technique to show the effectiveness of the product or service being sold. The fourth stage is inducing action. At this stage, desire for the product should be obtained. However, the consumer might not act on it. The consumer may be enticed, however, doesn't have the intention of making the purchase. Through personal selling, the salesperson is now responsible for persuading the customer. And lastly, the fifth stage is building satisfaction. After the customer has bought into a particular product or service, they have just parted with a fraction of their money, and it's the salesperson's job to reassure that they have made the right decision. This reinforces confidence within the customer and ensures that they look forward to the product or service that they just bought, rather than considering their decision.
From the acquisition of customers comes the need for retention strategies. This follows the popular marketing concept of newer customers being 5 to 10 times more expensive than existing customers. Customer retention has significant advantages, especially in saturated markets such as Costa. Financial bonds are the first level of retention strategy, which rely on financial incentives and benefits from remaining loyal. Example of these are financial bonds are bulk buying, discounts, and bundles and cross-selling. However, these are only short-term strategies for retaining customer loyalty, as they lack differentiation and can be easily imitated by competitors. For Costa, their financial bond would be their Costa app with loyalty points for repeat purchases. This encourages customers to remain loyal as they build up points towards future savings. Social bonds are the second level of the retention strategy. Social bonds stem from personal relationships, either with a service provider or other consumers. These bonds are stronger than financial bonds due to its direct correlation with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, having social in the middle level in the motivational needs. During a Costa barrister's interaction with consumers, there is opportunity to create a social bond through their interpersonal skills. As coffee is a basic need for survival, Costa has an advantage of a desirable and popular product. Paired with a strong interpersonal skills, such as polite conversation and friendly body language, has the chance to lead the business to a strong business-to-consumer social bond. Customization bonds are the third level of the retention strategy and have two main approaches: customer intimacy and mass customization. The customer intimacy strategy is based that loyalty can be developed through intimate knowledge of their consumer, most commonly used among consultants who tailor bespoke services for their client. For Costa, their customization bond would be mass customization, which involves flexible processes to create customized products. Costa has a range of syrups and types of milk to satisfy their customers' needs if specified. Finally, the fourth level of retention is structural bonds. This bond is the most difficult to replicate, as it also involves the previous three levels of bonds being strong. These structural bonds can be made when value-added services are provided. Each of the three previous levels, once implemented, can add value to retaining the relationship with loyalty points, friendly interactions, and customization.
Now we're going to explore a third strategy of total product concept. Total product concept can be split into three levels: core product, actual product, and the final augmented product. To Kotler, the theory of the total product concept is also known as the three levels of a product. He goes through the ideology that even a tangible product has intangible aspects that massively add to the product's value to the consumer. Hence why there are three levels in order to make a total product which reflects the brand's personality. The core is not a tangible product. It is the benefit that the product or service gives to the consumer. In this example at Costa, the level of service given to the consumer gives benefits of efficiency and convenience. However, the core product is not enough to heavily influence the consumer's business relationship. Therefore, this is where the next two levels are critical for success. The actual product level involves the tangible product, what the consumer sees and identifies to the brand's personality. The actual product has a substantial influence on the brand's reflected personality. For Costa, as an international organisation, the geographical placement of the store will heavily influence what the personality is to portray. As Ashworth emphasises, in these cases, some specific action tools are used in order to achieve their main goals. These actions are as follows: of the environmental strengths and weaknesses of the places, identification and evaluation of the particularities and distinctive characteristics of the places, use and implementation of market research analysis, development of promotional policies, and finally, development of a partnership between the actors in the places. The final level involves the augmented product. This part of the product is non-physical. It is what gives added brand value to the organisation. This can be done via promotional offers, warranty, new extensions of customer service. This part of the product is a part that constantly gives to the consumer with an aim to heighten customer satisfaction and reoccurrence. The augmented product is an important way to tailor the core or actual product to the needs of an individual customer. Once there is a clear understanding of the total product concept, it can be used to launch an extension strategy. For this strategy to be implemented, marketers would have to look at both the product and the customer life cycle of the organisation to see where it is the right timing to implement NPD, which is new product development. The product life cycle, as Cooper emphasises, in the current economic state, products are being recycled at a faster rate than ever before. It describes the stages a product goes through from when it was first thought of until it is finally removed from the market. Not all products reach this final stage. Some continue to grow and others rise and fall. The main stages of the product life cycle are introduction, which is researching, developing, and then launching the product. Secondly, we have growth, when sales are increasing at their fastest rate. Thirdly, we have maturity, where sales are near their highest, but the rate of growth is slowing down. For example, there could be new competitors entering in the market or saturation. And finally, we have decline, which is the final stage of the cycle, where sales begin to fall. Then organisations have the option for extension or to end the cycle. The customer life cycle is used within CRM. A customer life cycle is a term used to describe the progression of the steps a customer goes through when considering, purchasing, using, and maintaining loyalty to a product or service. NPD takes place within the core and the augmented levels of the total product cycle. It's with the process of NPD that extensions can be made even more specific to customer needs and wants by adding value. This results in building stronger relationships with consumers, resulting in longevity for the organisation.
Once these 3 stages have been applied, it creates a much more positive experience. The transaction felt more personal and encouraged a relationship between the business and the consumer. The interaction was friendly and it felt genuine. It had good eye contact with open body language. Incentives for feedback on the experience via promotion or discount on future visits. Non-verbal behaviours such as making eye contact at key points when the salesperson asks a question or checking clients' understanding could be really of a great help for salespersons. Gestures that are inclusive and inviting help the flow of conversation. Being sensitive to the rhythm of the client's speech and gestures and joining in a gentle way can help bring both parties into harmony. Relaxed facial muscles allow salespersons to respond in a natural way to the information that flows between the buyer and the seller. Sitting of the salesperson in a relaxed position and inclining the head towards the client can communicate interest. Relaxed, curious, and non-judgmental emotion and vocal tone could also support receptive behaviours of the salesperson. If there is an edge to the salesperson's voice, the client will probably shut down, assuming that he or she is probably in trouble with the salesperson. If that is the case, it is better that the salesperson should express his point of view first, to put it on the table or to disengage temporarily until he can use receptive behaviour in a non-judgmental way. A salesperson should be especially careful to leave silence after they speak, to allow the client time to think about and make a response. He shouldn't leave the clients with the impression that he or she is uninterested or have nothing to say about the topic if that is not the case. Salespersons should be alert for non-verbal signs of the client that he or she has completed a thought or gotten to the bottom of an issue, so they will know when to interject an expressive comment. For example, the salesperson should notice when the client drops his or her voice at the end of a sentence or adopts a more relaxed position. Mirroring or emulating the non-verbal of a communication recipient has been shown to be a potentially effective device for persuading others. Customer engagement and technology is vastly intertwined in the personal selling process. Farrell et al. Provided an assessment of how direct selling companies use technology to manage relationships between the independent sales force and consumers. So why is all of this important? The underlying premise of relationship marketing is that customer satisfaction leads to loyalty, which in turn leads to higher levels of profitability for the firm. Personal selling is ideal for relationship building, negotiation, educating the customer, and closing the sale. Crittenden explains personal selling as personal selling is generally the most effective tool in the buyer education, relationship building, negotiation, and sales closing stages of a purchase decision. Personal selling gathers information for the company, as it creates a relationship between the salesperson and the customer. It also enables customization if the product offering and message to the consumer's specific needs during the buying process. Personal selling offers the richest communication option through face-to-face interactions, given that it allows for consultation and the asking and responding to clients' issues successfully. As Zolta states, sales forces are particularly well suited toward the acquisition and retention of customers because they can provide two-way communication with clients, can customise the product offering and message to a customer's specific needs and buying process, as well as create relationships with customers and other partners, and can act as an important information gathering resource for the firm. There can also be negative views of personal selling. Personal selling has been found to potentially cause job burnouts. Job burnout is emotional exhaustion that's related to work of some kind. It has been suggested that the potential for job burnout appears greatest for careers that are client-centred, such as personal selling. Due to it being a syndrome or emotional exhaustion and cynicism that occurs frequently among individuals who do people work of some kind. Organisations have to be cautious not to put mass pressure on salespersons, as this would increase staff resignations and general inefficiency in customer service. If there was a high turnover of staff, it would cost organisations more money for training programmes or for new employees. If done properly, personal selling can help generate mass profits for an organisation. It's all about balance.
Thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch our vlog. Thanks and goodbye.